What's up? Before this episode of AV's Mount Rushmore, we have a very important announcement from a very special person. Here he is. It's Eli Maluhi.
So, real quick plug. So, we are kind of starting a little bit of a fundraising campaign that I'm sure you guys have seen the last couple of days, or some of you guys that follow some of the staff on social media, or even the village's Facebook page. We're calling it Operation It Takes a Village, and we're just trying to cover for some of the losses that we had for not having camp this summer. Any amount helps, any donation helps. Reach out to a staff member, reach out to the village, camp office, the camp emails, the camp website. We have a Give Butter account, which is an easy way to donate, through PayPal, through Venmo, through whatever. Just go to givebutter.com/avcamp. It's pretty easy. But really, if anybody is able to help, it would make a massive difference to the place that we know, we all love, our second home, if you will, So anybody that has an opportunity to do so, reach out to somebody. Anybody can reach out to me. I'll be more than willing to help. But any help is much appreciated. So, and thank you guys already. I would be remiss if I didn't thank you guys already for, helping us out as much as you have already this week. We've made a massive, massive difference, and it's all thanks to all of you guys. So thank you guys for everything, and anything that you guys can do for us, it's very, very much appreciated. So thank you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and villagers of all ages, welcome to episode 4 of Antiochian Village Mount Rushmore Afternoon Program Edition. I'm Alex Safey. I'm here with John, Johnny Boy Safey, and Owen, Stay Hungry Pluff. Guys, what's going on?
We're doing well. Just here for another episode. I can't wait to get into it with our very passionate guest.
Oh, that's right. We have a great guest today.
Top tier.
Speaking of that guest, why don't I introduce that person? Today's guest has been rumored to be the only person to serve on AV's staff longer than Father Anthony and Deacon Merrick combined. Hailing all the way from North Jersey, the king of the court is here with us today, and he's not ready to give up his throne just yet. That's right, the only man who has played and won over 50 career AV basketball challenges, and the man who's really a grandfather to us all. It's Eli Jiddo Maluhi. What's up, Eli?
What's going on, guys? Thank you for having me. What a wonderful introduction. I'm so flattered, even though 90% of it isn't true.
Hey, most of it was rumored. Most of it was rumored.
But most of them were rumors.
We are super excited to have you, Eli, especially as we're talking about afternoon programs. So, John, why don't you give us a little outline of what to expect for today's afternoon program?
Ladies and gentlemen, today for our 4th episode, we have afternoon programs. And, of course, we have our generic ones like basketball, soccer. But the fun thing about our AV afternoon programs is that every year camp is always like making new ones. When we were younger, it was like, I remember the first year they introduced AV ball and then spike ball. And until last summer, they introduced 9 square. So these are all options for us. Or air square, I'm sorry. All options
Both
for
names.
us to take. And so I'm just going to list off quickly all the different choices that we have today that we put on our poll that hopefully you guys voted on. Here it goes. Soccer, basketball, AV ball, 4 square, 9 square or air square, angle ball, arts and crafts, swimming, track, archery, canoeing, sidewalk chalk, mystery box. The Camp Rivers Counselor challenges just generally, that's one selection that we had. Bocce, street hockey, tree spotting, board games, mafia, volleyball or beach volleyball, tennis, color wars or Olympics, holy bread making, capture the flag, shenanigans, chanting, dancing, improv, kickball, cloud watching, and lastly, spike ball. So those are all the choices that we have today. Owen, what is the format for today's episode?
So as always, we will be doing a snake draft, and we will always, as always, we will have our guest draft first, and then for the rest of our order, we have decided to go into the last iteration of lists that we could, where I am I'm picking second. John is picking third, and Alex will be picking last for the snake.
Awesome.
Before we get started, Eli, why do you love afternoon program?
It's a great question, Owen. So I love afternoon program. I've always loved it since I was a camper, and then when I was a counselor, and then when I was the afternoon program coordinator. To me, afternoon program is extremely special because it's kind of one of the first parts of our day where we just kind of get to act out everything that we learn, right? So MoPro is amazing because we learn about orthodoxy, we learn about the different themes of the year, all of these kinds of things. And then, afternoon program is kind of where we get to act all of that out, where we get to show how to love our neighbor, where we get to show how to, be competitive in a positive way, where we can uplift people, where we can learn new skills like a sport or, in arts and crafts or anything like that. It's just the ultimate example of Christian fellowship through like a structured activity or some not very structured activities. We'll get to some of those, I'm sure.
Right.
But that's why I love afternoon program. It's just the best way to live our life of orthodoxy, doing everyday daily things that we can normally do anywhere else as well.
Absolutely. Beautifully said, Eli. Beautifully said, man.
Thank God.
All those years of afternoon program, you really know what it's all about. So without any further ado, why don't we get to the first pick? Eli, what is your first pick of the afternoon program draft?
All right. So this was not easy for me. This was not easy at all. To my opinion, there's 4 or 5 truly, truly elite options. But if you know anything about me, it's that I love basketball.
Of course.
Is this objectively the best afternoon program activity? Probably not. I can listen to your wrong arguments, but I'll understand. But is it my favorite? Absolutely. Basketball to me, first of all, I just love the sport. So let's just get that out there.
Okay, of course.
That's right. But basketball at camp specifically, it's a family. It's a really big like fellowship where, it's typically the same couple people playing every day. We get new people come in and we welcome them with open arms, and it's awesome. But a lot of my relationships that I built with campers or counselors when I was still a camper, but recently with the campers that when I've been on staff, a lot of the relationships that I've built came through basketball, came through a common interest, a common game where we could all play and love each other. Honestly, like all 3 of you guys.
Absolutely.
Before being on staff with you guys,
For sure.
became really close with you guys, playing basketball with you guys all the time. So it's really just like a family. Owen's picture right there in the background for our YouTube watchers.
That's
The
Eli.
basketball challenge, there's me. You're all somewhere. But basketball to me is number 1. It was a difficult choice, but honestly, it really wasn't that difficult.
Yeah, that's an excellent choice, Eli. Definitely for you. It's very on brand. And I like what you said there because honestly, I feel like Eli, when we were campers, when we were 14 years old, I think was your first year on staff, and I think that's where I met you. And you were never my counselor, but obviously we have a great relationship now. And similar with other counselors, I feel like Nate Gwynn's another example of a counselor that I was very close with, who I just met playing basketball when I was a camper. So definitely an awesome place to afternoon program generally is, but on the basketball court for sure, because whether you're playing 1-on-1 or 2-on-2, there's not many other people on a small half court, and you can get to know each other better. So definitely an excellent choice, number 1.
Thank you.
Oh,
All right. Pick number 2. This is kind of nice. It's a nice early pick that I never really get.
that's right.
There's so much left. Oh boy. Honestly, I'm kind of shocked this didn't go number 1, but I'm gonna have to go with the Camper Counselor Challenges. It's my number 1
Wow.
Great.
pick.
Okay.
It encompasses so much with anglerball, basketball, soccer, volleyball, and even I would say even to a greater extent, maybe even hockey night.
Oh, for sure.
But just so many great memories. But as a camper, just waiting until you're old enough to be able to play in those and watching the older kids having this competition with the staff. It's just it's such an energy change that it just felt very special, and it was something that I personally could always I could never wait for it. So
Oh, for sure. It's so special, and especially when we look forward to camp every year, of course, but when especially for us, we all, grew up, we loved basketball. It's like when I was practicing my driveway, of course, I'm practicing because I want to be on whatever, the varsity team or the middle school team or whatever, time of my life, it was that. But I was also thinking about those 2 weeks in July during session 3 when we were going to face off against the counselors, and hopefully that, we could, pull the upset, because, we as campers, we never did as campers.
We came close one year, our hike year.
That's right.
I remember. It was a good game.
But yeah, that's why, challenges overall, they're just great to, Eli, you talked about the competition in general and being able to live what we're learning at camp and do it, on the sports field or court. And I think the challenges are like the best avenue to do that. So love those challenges.
Yeah. And one more point about the challenges. So realistically, this probably was the number one option, even in my board. I'm just so biased that, I let it show through. But the other real big thing that I love about challenges that wasn't mentioned is we need to do this more just in general, but we always start every challenge with a prayer. And we always end every challenge shaking each other's hands, saying good game at the end, and all of this. And we really need to do that more often, just while we were playing a normal pickup game. But just kind of like showing how like special these moments are. We always started off with a prayer where we don't usually do that. And again, that's a mistake. But, it's really just a cool, another marker of like how special this is, and another example of how we like live our Christian lives through afternoon program.
Yeah, great point. Great point for sure.
All right, so I'm at number 3, the third pick. I'm actually lucky because I don't think I would have taken basketball or the challenge as my first pick. So my first pick is still here. I'm just listing off some of the ones that I'm thinking about, but I kind of know which one. I think Foursquare, AV ball, and angle ball are all pretty up there, I would say. But I'm going to have to go with angle ball. And Owen, I do think you had a good choice, Owen, because you can kind of say that yours included angle ball, basketball, soccer, all these different ones. But, just to start off, I remember as a camper, like the first, time that our counselor read us off, all the afternoon programs for signups for the next day. And I was like, angle ball, what's that? And I remember that, like, as a camper when I was younger, like, it was my favorite one to go to because it's just an incredibly, like, fun and just, like, cool, generally, like, sport, I guess you could say, right?
Of course, different is the best one.
Right. So for those of you who don't know, I had to actually ask Father Chris to fact check the history on angle ball. But the way the sport is played is there's 2 poles on either end of the field. There's a basketball on top of each pole, and you can really play with however many players you want. I think the limit is like 10 or 12 on each side.
12 or 13, yeah.
Right. So there's a lot of people, but you can only take 3 steps with the ball, the volleyball that you're trying to hit the basketball off of the top of that pole with. So it's a lot of passing, a lot of teamwork, and that's why it's fun having that many players there. But like I said, I had to ask Father Chris about the history because I wanted to just know how long has angle ball been at our camp, and did it start at AV? And I remember hearing the story how it started at actually Camp St. Raphael, when in the early 2000s, I think Camp St. Raphael started in 2001 is what Father Chris told me. And then they rented from a YMCA camp, which had angle ball. So then an AV counselor, or I guess a Camp St. Raphael counselor, ended up bringing it from Camp St. Raphael and brought it to AV. So it was the early 2000s. So it's almost been around as long as, at least Alex and Owen and I have been alive. You're still a little older than angle ball, though, Eli.
Yeah, a little bit. A couple of years, we'll say.
But so like I said, very fun sport. It's a different sport, right? So one sport where we really can't play unless we're at camp. I don't come home and play, We can practice for basketball all year long, right? If we have a basketball hoop or kicking a soccer ball around. But we definitely can't do that with angle ball. So for that reason, I have to pick it as my number 1 afternoon program.
Great choice.
It is a great choice. Want to give a huge shout out to Father Chris too. He's the angle ball king, of course.
For sure.
But I have this 4th pick now, the 4th pick of the draft, and I was a little bit bummed when we were coming in because I knew I was gonna get the last pick because the last few weeks I've gotten better picks. And I am shocked. My number 1 pick, if you guys gave me the first pick, this would have been my pick. So I'm completely
We
shocked.
all got our number ones.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's awesome. I guess that's we have some good chemistry going on here. But you guys let Foursquare slip to me at number 4. Like that's like letting D Wade or Tua Tagovailoa slip to the number 5 pick. Like, I mean, Foursquare is in my opinion the MVP of afternoon program. And when I was thinking about it, I was thinking about the room of requirement from Harry Potter. It was like anything they needed. For those of you who don't know Harry Potter, the room would magically transform into like whatever you needed to do in that room. So at Foursquare, you know, you just played some basketball. Maybe you want to cool down and enjoy the breeze and hang out, talk to some friends. Sign up for Foursquare. You want to work on your prayer rope while you're listening to someone play the guitar? Foursquare. And you wanna meet with your cabin to finish your serenade night song? Sign up for Foursquare. And of course, if you actually want to play Foursquare, sign up for Foursquare. Foursquare is an awesome sport. And the thing I love about Foursquare is you really don't have to be super athletic or super, you know, long arms or tall or whatever. Like I played Foursquare. I've gotten out by people like who are athletic, you know, tall, maybe male counselors. Or I've also gotten out by like, you know, 4-foot chalet girls. So it's like Foursquare is a game that you can play with everyone. You don't have to be, there's no really requirements for how good or athletic you are to be able to play and to be able to succeed. And that's the beauty of it. You know, you can get to that king box or the number 4 square, and then it's your reign and you get out, you go back to the end of the line and you can make it back up the ranks again. So Foursquare, I love it for so many reasons. It's a great sport and it's a versatile activity to do an afternoon program because of course the pavilion, you can hang out with your friends and just do whatever you want on those picnic benches. So that's going to be my pick. You guys were sleeping.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. I was definitely thinking about that one with angle ball. I ended up choosing angle ball, but you definitely do mention it's a holistic, you know, like all-encompassing type of afternoon program. And like this is definitely one of the signups that when we're signing our campers up, it's the toughest one to get because it does fill up the quickest. So it definitely is very popular among all our campers.
Most definitely. So now I get to reap the benefit of having the last pick. I get the
round 2.
First
Alex.
pick in round 2. So I think the first 4 that was pretty accurate, but my next pick, I'm glad this is still here. This also could have been number 1 in my opinion, is Color Wars. So Color Wars, you just gotta, if you love sports, if you love afternoon program, Color Wars is for you. You know, we talked about the great things about the challenges, campers versus counselors. Well, Color Wars is campers versus campers. And so the camp is divided. Of course, this is a great opportunity for us to exercise. I think the three main things are teamwork, sportsmanship, and competition. And we're doing that in a setting that allows us to really utilize what we learn in the faith and just being at camp in general, and to bring it to things that we typically, maybe at home, we don't usually pray before we do sports, or we're not maybe as sportsmanlike as we would be when we're at camp. And that's the great thing, because, you know, no matter win, lose, or draw, at the end of the day, you guys, we all can link arms, we can pray together, and I think that's the beauty of it. But just a couple of things that I love about Color Wars, just when you get out of cabin time, you walk into the dining hall, and the dining hall is divided, usually blue and white, or last year was red and blue. And then you're in there and we start doing the bombers. Someone gets the microphone, we're singing the bombers to each other. And last year during session 3, I was able to be a Color War general, which was awesome because it gave me a different perspective of Color Wars. And I was able to travel to the different sports and just see how, although with the different sports and activities were kind of separated physically, everyone was working towards that same goal. So yeah, Color Wars, it's kind of a no-brainer pick here. This is the clear number 5 option. That's
a phenomenal pick, Alex. Color Wars always, to me, when I was a camper, was one of my favorite things way back when. And, you know, we kind of stopped having it for a couple years.
That's right. I forgot about that.
There were a couple years where we didn't have it. And, you know, honestly, when I was afternoon program, it was one of the things that I wanted to bring back. So it's got an extra special place in my heart. You know, we've been doing it every year since, and I'm really grateful for the village.
Thank God.
You know, giving me that opportunity. But Father Chris and I, you know, he was the guy helping me with it when I was afternoon. You know, we planned this whole thing, and, you know, it's been so cool to watch it grow and grow and grow. And be so much better than it was the first year, however many years ago. But it's been super, super cool to watch Color Wars like continue being a normal thing, and it's got an extra special place in my heart. So, well, very well done, Alex.
For sure. Well, thank you for bringing it back, Eli. I totally forgot about that.
Thank God.
All right, so I guess we're back to me now. Second pick of the second round. I'm really in between two here. I mentioned AV ball earlier, but I'm also conflicted because another great one that isn't a sport, another great afternoon program is arts and crafts. But I think, it's in the name. I think I'm going to go to AV ball. It has AV in the very name, and definitely is one of the most popular afternoon programs too. I would definitely say it's probably the number one for units 2 and 3. I don't know what you guys think about that. And then I would say it's probably second in units 1 and 4 after Foursquare, because the older kids, obviously, they all love going to Foursquare. But like I said, it's in the name. And I think this is just like when I think of afternoon program, like one of the first things I think of is like just the AV ball pit. And like, it's just really, as an afternoon program, like to go to, it really just has, it's like us getting our energy out and like, running around within the thing, and obviously within the pit. What do we call it? The pit, right? The pit. And, getting our energy out, we're being competitive. But again, it also, we have to exercise like what we talked about, like loving our neighbor and like having good sportsmanship. When we get out, when it hits our feet, we have to get out. And I think the game is actually called Gaga Ball, I guess, at other camps. But at our camp, we call it AV Ball, of course. And, yeah, like I said, I think when I think of afternoon program, I just think about when I was a camper. For me, like I was always going to basketball, and if I couldn't get Foursquare, I was definitely going to AV ball as well. So another good one. If you want to chill and do your GIMP, there's a picnic bench there. So the one thing is that it isn't a little hotter than the pavilion for Foursquare. So that's why I got to go with AV ball as just a great and fun and energetic afternoon program.
It's a great pick. I am starting to notice a theme, though, with your two picks that don't originate at AAV, but that's okay.
Yeah. And they both start with the letter A, so maybe I'll keep that trend going. We'll see.
I would love to watch a 30 for 30 ball, either angle ball or AAV ball, though. I think that would be very interesting.
Let's do it. At James Jabor, where are you at?
For my second pick, I'm going to have to go with – oh, I'm shocked it's still up there again. It's a little bit of a mystery. I'm going to have to go with mystery box,
Wow, well done.
That's a great one pick, like usual.
Again, yeah. I would say that this probably has like the most like wide range of options, from either having to pick up rocks in the old baseball field, which I think we had to do at least once when we were campers, to watching a movie in the church basement while eating milk and cookies. That was so much fun.
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
Or even I think it was 2011, maybe 2012. We got the option to do like ninja training with Charles Dowd and someone else.
When he was our counselor.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Your hike gear?
I was.
Running around being like ninjas. I actually did.
I have a very clear memory of running into the dining hall, and there's P90X going on with Andrew Salem, and we
I remember that.
We hog-tied him up and carried him out of there. It's like 12 or 11-year-olds. It was crazy.
Yeah, we were just running around camp, like acting like ninjas and like disrupting other afternoon programs. It was hilarious.
Absolutely. So I have to take this here. I think it's a great round 2 pick. Very underrated, but definitely could produce in a couple of years.
That's a sleeper.
Excellent. Excellent, Owen.
It's a good pick. It's also cool because it's a surprise. You never really know. Like
it's a mystery.
Like, what is it going to be? It's also super cool thing to have as well.
Back to number 1, Eli, or number 4.
Alrighty. So it's my turn. All right. So I get 2 back-to-back picks here, which is pretty cool. I'm kind of stuck between 3 of them. So I got to pick 2 of these 3. All right, I think I'm going to go kind of similarly to Owen's last pick. I think I'm going to go with shenanigans.
Yeah, definitely similar.
Yeah, definitely similar in like you kind of don't really know what's going on. It's a little, unstructured. You kind of just run around doing whatever. But I pick it because it's like almost every camper's like favorite activity. It's always like because it doesn't get offered every day. It can't be as big because of like the craziness of running around.
Mm-hmm.
So it always fills up immediately. And I can speak to that as a counselor, like seeing that, it's insane. It's also super cool because like it's just a bunch of people just running around being goofy and being creative
Yeah.
and just doing, whatever random creative acts they feel appropriate,
Mm-hmm.
which is super cool. From a counselor's perspective, it's like a really cool way for us to like just be creative and run around and, encourage others to be creative and just make some fun out of it. And we like it gets everybody involved too. It's like I have a memory from last year. I was doing Foursquare and, Scroopus, Kyle Parsons, was running around just like dumping water on people.
I remember.
And I was just sitting there and I wasn't part of shenanigans and I got involved and little kids were like, throwing water at me and just like having a good time. Like, it's a good way to just get everybody involved and just, show our talents of just like being able to have fun out of anything. So I think shenanigans is my pick here for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar to Mystery Box, it does have a very wide range. Like I've seen it be, throwing around with the water balloons. I've seen it turn into a scavenger hunt. There's so many different ways you can go with it. So definitely another great pick off the board there.
For sure. So my next pick. Okay, now it's the hard part. I'm down between two.
What are you thinking of? What do you got, Eli?
So okay, I think I made my pick, and I'm not going to tell you my other one. Hopefully, it'll last to me. So
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you what it was. I'll tell you what it was later. I'm not ruining my secrets here.
We'll see.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with probably not controversial, but for me, a controversial pick. I'm going to go with arts and crafts.
I was hoping that would fall.
I'm going to go with arts and crafts. It's kind of the reverse basketball thing here, where arts and crafts was never my thing, just to be honest. I've went a couple of times, I've always had so much fun when I've been there, but it just was never my thing. But I know how like versatile arts and crafts is. A lot of people love arts and crafts. Lots of campers love it. Lots of counselors love it. It's a really cool way to, again, I like the idea of creativity, right? I just chose shenanigans. And like arts and crafts, you get to be creative. You get to build something, create something. It's like the only afternoon program where like you can kind of take something home with you, whether it's like an actual object. I mean, like whether it's, prayer rope or GIMP or whether it's, whatever, tie-dye shirt you can make or, anything like that. It's a super cool way to just go and just do something totally different. It's so different than all the other ones. I'm a sports guy, so I love basketball, angleball, and all these kinds of things. But for those people that don't like sports as much, it's the best way to just go and have some fun, hang out with some people, meet some new people, just relax and do something creative. And also I love how versatile it is and like how many activities there are. You have a new activity every day besides, free days when we have prayer rope. Every year, every day, we have different things. We have different themes and announcements during, lunch. It's just, it's a really cool way to just like build something, create something. I know, I forget which one of you guys on the last podcast loves the idea of like working for something. I think it was John, right?
Yeah.
So working for something, like creating something and like using it, it's a pretty cool thing, I really support arts and crafts, even if it was never my thing as a camper.
It's funny you said it, Eli, because when I was a camper, I would always be looking forward to 2 days, and that was the tie-dye day, because I always wanted to go make a tie-dye T-shirt, and unfortunately, there was a few summers there where I didn't, it already filled up before I could sign up for it, and then free days where we would always, the line would be out all the way out of the arts and crafts building onto the road to get GIMP and prayer rope, and I was never, I don't know how to make prayer rope. I tried it once. I'm not good at it, but GIMP was a little bit easier to make those knots, and I was always trying to get my GIMP. So definitely an excellent choice, Eli. I can't believe that we let arts and crafts fall all the way down to
I mean, what?
Third round. That's my third pick.
That's the ninth? That's the ninth overall pick. I mean, arts and crafts deserve better. That is very much a steal.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now it's down to me again. Oh boy,
it is.
Still a lot of good options up there. You know what? I'm gonna have to go with ultimate frisbee. It's a sport I kind of played in high school.
Good pick.
And honestly, I'd compare it a little bit to angle ball and the fact that you're throwing like an object and you can't really run with it, and it's a teamwork based game where you're all working towards one big goal. So I think it's definitely fun at camp with the soccer field, and it's that team-based mentality that leads me to really have to pick it.
Yeah, definitely. An excellent choice. And that reminds me of, just tossing the frisbee around also in the units is something that's a
True.
lot of fun, and playing can jam as well, which, we should start doing that for afternoon program next summer. That would be a great idea.
We just get like 5 can jam, like, sets or whatever. and
Yeah,
then
they're
just-
so much fun.
Oh, that would be
On
awesome.
for afternoon program 2021.
We'll
2021.
see.
I'll do Mopro. John does afternoon.
I'm in.
All right. So, okay. Owen just took ultimate frisbee. All right. So, wow. Okay. So we got a few options here. Still some great ones. Honestly, when we said we were doing a draft, I wasn't sure that we could get 16 deep and stuff, some good choices. But so we got a few great ones here. But I'm going to also go with another nostalgic pick from when I was a younger camper. I always used to love doing this one. And this also goes with my trend of having ones that start with the letter A. So I'm picking archery, which I guess is the last one that starts with an A. But
You're paying homage to me because my name starts with an A?
yeah, for you. It's for you, Alex. So archery is just like a classic camping activity. And again, I told you guys when I was like 9 years old, and the first time my counselor read off the afternoon programs for the next day, I was curious about what angle ball was. But the next thing I heard was like archery. And I was like, what? And I do remember that must have been like one of the first few days of camp. I was trying to sign up for archery, and I'm sure I got it because there's not like a lot of spots, but I don't think there's not like usually a lot of kids signing up for it. But it's just so cool because, as a 9-year-old camper, I was like, I'm really going to get to like, shoot an arrow like they do in the movies, or, so it's super cool, right? You go down you walk all the way down. It's on the opposite side of, camp, from far away from the dining hall and everything else and most other afternoon programs. But you get to go, and obviously it's completely safe, and a counselor that has a training, or they have to go through training and they get a license to be an instructor. They show you how, to properly shoot the arrows, and you go and you try and hit the target. And it's really cool to just go there, and like it's kind of quiet, it's low key, it's not like loud, and you run up and down like basketball or angle ball, or even AV ball. It's like calm and quiet, and you're trying to focus and set your arrow and hit it in the bullseye, which obviously not many people do on their first try. But it's a super cool skill to learn for the first time, and that's something that's great that our camp offers that I've never really done anywhere else. So shout out archery. That has got to be my third pick.
I was actually an archery instructor my first year on staff.
Oh, so you got trained on.
Oh, absolutely. It was so much fun. I can honestly say that this is probably like one of the most special spots at camp is the archery course.
Isolated,
near the big trees.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
Quiet, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I do love the spot of the archery, the archery range for sure.
Yeah, and you're in the shade. You're in the shade too. Like,
not too hot either. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. You throw in some, if you want some variety in your afternoon program. You just were sweaty and running around. Maybe go down, hang out in the shade. Shoot a few arrows.
It's a good pick.
Yeah. All right. Now to the end of round 3. I have back-to-back picks here for 3 and 4. There's 2 that I know I'm picking. 2 of these were pretty high on my list, my big board. So I'm really excited they're still around. I'm gonna go with this first pick is gonna be swimming, and swimming I think we talked about some underrated afternoon programs. I think it's pretty underrated. As far as like
that one fell for sure.
Yeah, it's we let it slip, but at the same time I think it's something that a lot of what I've noticed in my campers is a lot of the younger campers love swimming. Like some of my campers that I had in Unit 3, like every day wanted to go swimming.
That's definitely true.
As the campers get older, I guess it's more the fact that they want to do multiple activities whereas when you go to the pool, you have to stay there for 2 periods because to get changed and dressed and everything, it would take too much time. But swimming, I think, is just a great option. I would argue that on a hot day, on a super hot, sunny day, it's probably the number 1 pick. Like, you hang out, you go, and you get to jump in the pool. Water basketball, of course, we all love basketball. You get to play water basketball. I mean, that's awesome. And I think another thing about the pool that's great is sometimes you can organize with your counselors in your sister cabin, like a pool party where you guys can reserve the pool for just you guys, the few cabins for that time slot. And those are always a great time, too, to share some fellowship with your brother and sister cabin. So yeah, I'm gonna go with swimming for my pick.
Yeah,
And
excellent choice. I definitely thought this probably would have gone a little bit earlier, but I guess I'm same with arts and crafts. I'm shocked we let those two fall, but here it is.
Yeah, I think swimming is definitely like my number one free day activity because like yeah, you don't have to stay for two periods, but it's great to like hop in,
That's a good idea. I never thought
hang out
about
for a
that.
bit, and then you can like go somewhere else and just like rotate around, you know?
Yeah, that's a great one. I know, I don't think I ever did that during my free days, but you just can go jump in the pool and then go do whatever you want. Like you said, oh, that's great.
for my next pick, my last pick of the draft, this was actually ranked number 6 on my big board. So the fact that I'm getting it, I don't know, I can't count. What is this, my 12 or 13 overall pick? This is
13.
kickball. Kickball, I know that it's not a typical afternoon program activity that we have every single day, but kickball is something that when the few times a session, maybe it's hopefully once a session we're able to have it, where it'll be like a unique activity. It's a great time. We get to utilize that baseball field that is we don't really do anything there. You know, it's kind of just a part of the field, but it's not like we play baseball or softball there. So we get to utilize that, which is great. And kickball is just a great game. I mean, my memories of kickball, I always think of playing on the playground when we were in like elementary school. Like that was a game we played every single day. So kickball, and similar to how I love Foursquare because you don't really have to be super skilled or athletic to be able to be good at it. Kickball, you don't need to be like too good. If you kind of can get like a decent kickoff and you run really fast, you know, you get on base and you're having a good time. So kickball is my pick. Last year, I want to give a shout out to afternoon program coordinator last year, Steph Katartis. She let me run kickball a few times during the summer. I had a great time, and the campers did too. So I guess maybe in the future we should really push for more kickball at the Village.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting. I guess it's because a lot of people are signing up for the big ones like, Foursquare, AV ball, angle ball, basketball. So sometimes those same kids, it was like during the week, it'll be like, oh, like how about this day we switch it up and we have kickball. So it's also fun for that reason because you're not really playing it a lot. So it throws in some variety like we talked about with archery, but definitely a good pick. So, all right. So now down to my last pick. Right now my 3 are angle ball, AV ball, and archery. I don't think there are any more A's I can go with, but I've said it like every round. There's like a pick like where I'm like shocked it's still there, but I think this just goes to show that how deep afternoon program is and how there really is something for like everyone to play. And
Amen.
like I'm shocked right now. I mean, I guess it's not even shocking because we kind of just talked about like how deep it is, how many afternoon programs there are, but soccer is still available. So I'm not going to overthink this at all. I'm just going to, go with a straightforward pick. That's been the theme of my draft, I guess, with, angle ball and AV ball and eventually archery. But, I think this is just another, like my other picks, another classic camp activity. Like, it's maybe not as popular, I guess I would say maybe as basketball, perhaps. I mean, that's personally, I like basketball more, but, it's definitely like it's right in the middle of the field. So it's another classic one. Like if you just want to go, get some of your energy out from like sitting inside all day or from, listening to your morning program counselor and, being in church. And then we finally get to afternoon program and you can just run around. You can run as much as you want on the soccer field. And, I actually have a funny story of when I was a CIT. As a CIT, your job is to kind of just, fill the void of wherever you're needed at camp, and one of those voids when I was a CIT was the soccer goal. And I'm not a big soccer fan, not a big soccer, player, but I was needed to go be the goalie because none of the younger kids wanted to be in the goal. So I hopped in the goal and, it was all cool. I wasn't that good. I don't think I was getting any saves. But then some older kids came. And one of the older kids just sniped the ball, hit it as hard as they could. And they missed the net, but they actually hit me right in the stomach. And I just remember falling over and I was like, all right, like this is what it feels like being a counselor. Like I'm ready for it, And I just fell over and, Father Chris was playing and he came over. He's like, yo, safety, are you good? I was like, yeah. But so just a funny memory that I have of soccer, which, like I said, another classic camping afternoon program activity.
That's awesome. That's a good pick too. I think it's very, it's a lot like basketball in that way, just a sport that people just love to play and it's right in the middle of the field. So it's always nice to like watch when you're like on a break somewhere, you're just like looking at it. It's easy to watch from afar. I know a lot of the little kids love it, and we like do like half court kind of, where you just play on like the smaller nets or anything. And
Yeah, and you
it's
just
just
see.
it's super cool. It's one of my favorite activities to watch. I'm not a big soccer player either myself, but watching is so fun. It's people just running around. Father Chris loves to get out there and,
Oh
and
yeah.
play with everybody, and
Yeah.
it's just it's a really cool activity for sure.
And then they all see which CIT they can kick as hard as they can with the soccer ball. All right, Owen.
Oh,
Pick number 3
My
before
last pick.
Eli's pick. So what's your pick?
oh, my final pick. Let's see. There's a lot of stuff still left on the list. We got
Yeah, so many
improv,
afternoon programs.
bocce, chanting is still there. That's a great pick.
It is a great pick.
Holy bread making.
Holy bread make. Oh,
Oh, you guys, the one that I was thinking about before is still available. So, Owen, you might let me get all of my choices. So
No, take
You
it,
know what?
Owen.
Yeah, take it, Owen.
I don't
Whatever
know.
it is.
Oh, I'm shocked that I kind of forgot that we put this on the list, but I might have to take it. I'm gonna go with cloud watching.
Wow.
Was that
this
it?
is,
Cloud watching.
That
I
was,
know, right?
That was
So-
not my pick, I will say.
Oh
I love
man.
my pick.
So this was kind of exclusive to 2018, I believe, when John Rosenboom was afternoon program. But yeah, we used to chill out on the soccer field by the church, or like I think even brought kids like walking around, and you just like watch clouds and like see what you can find. And it's a very creative kind of output, which is super cool. I think it's very like it's a very unique and one of a kind of afternoon program that it's not really offered, or like it's hard to find the stuff that you would find in it in other afternoon programs.
Oh,
That makes sense.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, for
Nothing
sure.
like it. Nothing like it.
Yeah, that's a really good pick. I remember, so quick shout out and story, I guess, to my session 1 cabin 48 last summer, 2018. They loved it. You know, they were 16 years old. They absolutely loved it. They wanted to do it every day that it got offered. It got to the point where after camp, you know, we had a group chat of like the 8 of us, 9 of us, whatever it was. And we had a group chat, and they wanted me to add John Rosenboom into the group chat, or create a new one, I guess, so that they could send him pictures of clouds, like showing what they see on like a daily basis. It's like weeks later, I'm getting pictures, you know, of clouds from, you know, my campers that are just like, this one looks like a turtle. This one looks like, you know, John Rosenboom.
That's awesome.
Shout out to him for being awesome, making it fun and creative. He would always respond and, you know, get involved in it as well. So that one's got a, you know, a special place in my heart.
What a great way to take camp home. Cloud
Yeah,
watching.
seriously.
Who knew? Who knew?
Who knew, you know, looking at some clouds would turn into you know,
Right.
some friendships along the way.
Mhm.
Another very on-brand pick for Owen too.
Yeah,
True.
very much so.
All right,
Alrighty.
Eli. What's your mystery sleeper that none of us took? What is it?
My Mr. Irrelevant. Let me make sure I didn't miss one real quick. I don't think I did.
Oh, okay.
Definitely some good ones on here, but no, my quick look through. I think this is a massive sleeper. This might be the best pick of the draft, but value wise, I'm gonna go with track.
Oh shoot, that's still in the.
Wow.
Oh dang it, dude! I didn't see
never
that.
knew why you would say that. Yeah.
See, I told you guys. So
Yeah.
track to me is an awesome afternoon program activity. It's got a lot of things, different things that you can do. So for one, it's just like super chill and just like a really easy way to just catch up with somebody and hang out with somebody. You know, whether it's, you know, you want to have a one-on-one with your counselor, you can tell them to sign up for track. You know, whether it's like a friend that you haven't seen in a little while, you know, but you want to catch up with, you can walk with them. Whether it's, you know, someone that you don't know and you want to get to know, you know, just a really easy way to, you know, just hang out and like having a conversation with somebody while still getting a little bit of, you know, exercise, like walking around, you know, getting that like that energy out as well. I think it's also super cool because you're always moving, but you're not in like one specific spot at camp. You know, you can always walk around and, you know, you can watch basketball for a couple of seconds as you walk by. You can, you know, shout at someone that you know that's swimming in the pool and say hi to them as you walk by.
Mhm.
You can like take a quick look at, you know, the graves and say Edna Phillip and, you know, all those guys over there. You can walk by there, right behind the church. You know, just it's a really easy way to just talk to people, hang out with people, get some energy out. And then also for those of you that do like running, not me, also a great way to just get some energy out, but in like a personal way. You know, I
Yeah.
love exercise, playing a sport and whatnot. but it's loud and there's talking and everything. But if you just want to, get some me time, some alone time, and just, do a little exercise that you guys like to do, it's an awesome way to get that around, as well. Just running around and, getting some laps in.
Yeah,
sure.
another excellent choice, Eli. Because there's
Track is
there's so
great.
much you can do during track, like you said. If you want to walk, you can walk, or if you want to run, you can run. Or if you want to sit, you can just sit on the track and hang out. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
excellent choice. Very versatile.
So I'm really pumped. I got 4 of my top 10.
All right, so why don't you read off all your picks, and then we'll go in order of what our picks we had, and let's say what our 4 were.
All right, so I started with basketball, which might have been a little biased, but I'll take it.
A little bit.
Of course you'll take it.
Of course, yeah. Then I went with shenanigans, a little creativity, a little, non-structured fun.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went with arts and crafts, versatile activity again. I like these versatile creative activities. And then I went with track for all the reasons I just listed. So I'm pretty pleased. I didn't have as many, of the big sports that, I kind of feel like I would have normally picked, but I like the versatility here for sure.
Good looks. Definitely good looks.
For mine, I started off with the Camper Counselor challenges. I felt like it kind of encompassed all of the main sports, like not the main, but like the big sports.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went with mystery box as kind of like a just like a mystery kind of option, I guess. It's kind of in
Yeah, it's different.
the name there. Yeah. Also kind of like a parent to shenanigans almost,
Yeah.
Then I went a little bit kind of like, I don't know. I was gonna say off topic, but not really off topic. But I went
Off
with
the beaten path.
yeah, with ultimate frisbee. And then round 4, I closed it off with cloud watching as my creative choice.
Nice. All right, so
Good
I had the
looks.
3rd pick, and I took angle ball, which kind of led to my trend of just pretty much taking some like straightforward ones that were just given to me. AV ball was my 2nd pick, another great one. Archery and soccer. So just 4, I feel like programs that are usually offered like pretty much every single day. Maybe not archery, but the other 3 definitely are.
Yeah, just a good solid picks all around.
Yeah.
I like all 3 of you guys' teams, but I really think that this is my best draft of Mount Rushmore so far. I got a steal at number 4 with Foursquare, which is the MVP. That's the LeBron James of afternoon program. Then I got Color Wars, which is also like, that's a very good pick at number 5. That's like really top notch talent. So I have Foursquare, Color Wars. Then I went with swimming, switch it up, hop in the pool, cool off, great time. And then kickball, which is not the generic afternoon program activity. It's one that is rarely offered, but you're always going to have a good time at kickball. So that's my 4.
All right, and what did the listeners pick this week? Owen, what were the final results of the poll?
So I believe we got 128 votes, which is awesome. And with the number 4 choice that they voted for with 32 votes was arts and crafts.
Ah, nice.
Yes.
Like I said, I thought that one fell pretty low to having
For
the
sure.
3rd
I
round.
got the 4th pick at 9 overall.
Nice,
Yeah.
Eli.
That's
a steal,
crazy.
baby.
Definitely a steal.
Their number 3 pick with 36 votes was AV ball. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes
Like
sense.
it's a
I
camper
got it.
favorite.
Camper favorite, like I said.
Oh wow, number 2. Sport, which some have said is a dead sport. There's angle ball at number 2 with 38 votes.
Angle ball,
I
very
knew it.
much
Let's
alive.
go.
Very
I got
much
2
alive.
of them. And we probably know what number 1's going to be here.
Yeah, I think we all know number 1.
With 82 votes, which I think so far is probably the most, or it's probably the most majority voted option.
Yeah.
Sure.
Foursquare.
Come on.
Wow.
MVP.
That was a blowout.
Blowout win. It's the Huffley of afternoon programs.
Yeah, nice choices all around.
Okay, why don't we get to our honorable mentions? We have 3 to name. Eli, why don't we start off with you?
All right, so I'm going to go really off the beaten path here, back to what Owen just said. I'm going to go with a blast from the past that, a lot of people might not know about, but some of the older generation, aka my generation,
Old people?
Yeah, seriously. They might know it. It's speedball.
Ah.
I
I
don't.
remember this one. We were very little, I think.
I honestly don't even remember what year that we stopped having speedball, or really why we stopped having speedball. But essentially, it was kind of like angle ball, except instead of when the ball hit the ground, it was automatically the other team's ball. You then played soccer with it. So if I'm throwing the ball to Alex and it hits the ground, instead of it being John's ball, Alex can then go around and kick the ball and try and kick it into the soccer net.
Ah.
Super cool way to just mix everything together. It's running around. It's teamwork. It's passing like angle ball. It's kicking a soccer ball around like soccer. Just a really cool way to just get out there and be free flowing, but have a little bit of fun doing a sport like that. So speedball gets my honorable mention.
All right,
Probably
maybe
would have
we
been
can
picked
back.
higher. This was a couple years ago, but
We might have to bring
Yeah,
it back. 2021. Let's bring speedball back.
definitely.
I
I
am
mean,
down.
it sounds
Alex,
interesting.
when your afternoon program next year, you
Okay, we'll see. We'll see about that.
All right. So you know what, guys? We didn't talk about it all, but if you're listening and you're, someone who's been to camp, you know that not every day are we able to play foursquare and angle ball and basketball because sometimes it does rain and sometimes there's even lightning. So what do we usually do when there's a storm going on? We'll go in the dining hall, the old dining hall, or the gathering place. And one of my favorite activities that we get to do during a rainy day is Mafia, which is a super
Good luck.
fun game. And I actually remember Eli, one of the first times we played at camp was we went on the ropes course, and Eli, you took us out when we were 14. And I remember it was so funny because we just usually in the morning for older groups, you'll before you go down to the ropes course, you play those, the warm-up games kind of. And it was funny because instead of playing a unifying game, we were playing Mafia, and we were pointing, oh, you're the Mafia, and we were turning on each other. I remember Eli, you said, you're oh man, I feel like I just messed this up. We were playing a game.
All you guys wanted to play.
But you know what? Like I said, it actually brought us together because we had such a great time that it unified us. And that's why, I love Mafia. Just at the end of the game, when you figure out who was the Mafia and everyone just oh my gosh, but you did this and you lied here. And so just such a fun game, all-time camp game. I love Mafia.
I definitely love that pick. And wow, that's a memory that I totally forgot about. I just remember you guys always just wanted to play it. And I was like, well, I'm here for you guys. It's not my idea. So sure.
We probably begged you. We must have begged you.
Yeah,
Oh
for
my
sure.
goodness.
But that's a good honorable mention. I'm glad I got it to do. I love that as well.
All right, number 3, the third honorable mention, canoeing. Got to give a huge shout out to canoeing. This is another one that gets slept on a lot. People aren't always rushing to sign up for it. But every time that I've been there, it's a great time. You get to hike through the woods. You have a nice, enjoyable time in enjoying God's creation. And then you hit the water, and it's just, you just really enjoying the weather, enjoying beautiful Western Pennsylvania. I mean, there's nothing more you could ask. It's a great time, and you can't really do anything like that at camp elsewhere.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Eli, for coming on this episode. That concludes our afternoon program episode. Eli, do you want to tell our listeners really quick about how they could donate to camp this week?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I want to thank you guys for being such gracious hosts, for inviting me on here, being so welcoming and friendly. I know I had a blast, and I hope you guys all did too, listeners as well. So real quick plug. So we are kind of starting a little bit of a fundraising campaign that I'm sure you guys have seen the last couple of days, or some of you guys that follow some of the staff on social media, or even the village's Facebook page. We're calling it Operation It Takes a Village, and we're just trying to cover for some of the losses that we had for not having camp this summer. Any amount helps, any donation helps. Reach out to a staff member, reach out to the village, camp office, the camp emails, the camp website. We have a Give Butter account, which is an easy way to donate, through PayPal, through Venmo, through whatever. Just go to givebudder.com/avcamp. It's pretty easy. But really, if anybody is able to help, it would make a massive difference to the place that we know, we all love, our second home, if you will, So anybody that has an opportunity to do so, reach out to somebody. Anybody can reach out to me. I'll be more than willing to help. But any help is much appreciated. So, and thank you guys already. I would be remiss if I didn't thank you guys already for helping us out as much as you have already this week. We've made a massive, massive difference, and it's all thanks to all of you guys. So thank you guys for everything, and anything that you guys can do for us, it's very, very much appreciated. So thank you guys.
It's been great to see everyone, the generosity in helping out the village. So yeah. Well, that wraps it up. Thank you again, Eli, for coming. This was a great episode, afternoon program. Remember to tune in to Vespers and Evening Prayers tonight.
Evening prayers every night, 9 o'clock with me.
That's right, with Eli. If you want more of Eli, definitely go to Evening Prayers every night.
Please do. We'd love to see all of your faces.
So, thank you guys for listening, and have a good one.
Stay hungry.